Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of FCM.
You fumbled that.
That's an episode, bro. What are you?
I was like, you almost fumbled that, but you recovered it.
Cut. Do that again, bro. Let's start fresh.
Hey, production.
Start fresh.
Put like a
Put
black
FCM
thing,
back again, bro.
And cut.
Welcome back to another episode of FCM
There we
Football
go.
Culture Movement. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Maya, the host of the most. Joining me to my left, the cult hero, the boy wonder himself. It's Culture Cams. Round of applause.
Yes. Round of applause. Everyone, come on.
Man said
3 points. Come on.
And to my right, the podcasting Pepe, the mean green fight machine himself, the waviest. Fuad Kadani, let's get a clap. A subtle clap.
Oh, no, he's in trouble today. He's in trouble today.
Listen, before we go any further, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Algorithm. You already know what time it is. Before we go any further, you know what usually happens when we introduce the show. But I want to do something a little bit different before we get into the custom introduction. I want to actually give a shout out to everyone that acknowledges the show, acknowledges when we're out and about, especially football games. I'm sure you guys have been to games recently.
Aww.
One thing that I never get past is the stewards, the fans. Even if it's a subtle thing, they'll come and be like, you man are not leaving with 3 points today. It's kind of like, I respect it because at the end of the day, this is an occupation for us now.
Do it for the people,
We're just
man.
doing it for a job, but we do it for the people. So when the people acknowledge, word to Roman Reigns, we have to acknowledge back as well. So big up everyone that
for real.
supports. We proper appreciate it. And it's custom around here. You already know what time it is. Football's it's an interesting game, right? There's two teams, 11 men on the pitch, real men, as we say.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. There's some fake men, but if your team went out there this week, real men, fake men, any men, you know, we don't discriminate, and did what he needed to do, and got the 3 points, I'll take the 3 point clip.
Everyone, get up. United fans. Get up off your feet. Get on your feet. The coat. Get on your feet.
Hold tight the participants as well. Listen, one team can't play by themselves. They can't, can they?
No.
Hold tight, you know, everyone that's got an agenda, everyone that's got something to say, everyone that's opinionated, everyone that's performed, whatever. Of course, the big game on the weekend that we are following is the Chelsea and Arsenal game. My beloved Chelsea. We're starting a bit late this week because I went to the game, you know.
What, you got to go on the train?
No.
I thought you couldn't get on the
Prawn
train.
sandwich brigade.
Yeah.
I was in the sticks
I
today.
thought you couldn't get on the train.
West Lower.
You say you went
In
with
the
most of
sticks.
these today, yeah?
No, with the people.
Can I get on the train? Of course, mate. This is West Ham. This is West Ham.
I know you drove it.
You had a funny beat. I like that. But Chelsea, Arsenal, 1-1 draw. I think usually I ask you guys the questions about your teams and whatnot. It's only right that you guys get to ask the host some questions about the game. We can talk about perspectives, but Fuad, I'll let you naturally ask questions.
Because
we're going to ask you some questions later, but you can ask the questions first.
Of course. I think that takes you lot to third in the Premier League table, if I'm
Third.
not mistaken. 19th, just above Arsenal now as well.
Yeah.
Feel like a fitting place so far this season?
It's weird. I think the biggest takeaway is, if you told me that Chelsea would be third going into November, I'd be like, how? But we are.
In terms of today as well,
Yeah.
but what has impressed you about Maresca the most so far? Because I feel like today as well, there's small little tactical things I think he deserves credit for, but
Yeah, I
want to
think
hear your perspective.
I'm not that I'm a pessimist. I always look at how we can improve, but if you look at where we are, he's managed to take a group that had loads of players. That was the whole talk before in summer. You've got so many players, so many talents, and he seemed to have got a baseline of what he can improve from. Now, there's certain things that definitely need time to continue proving, but to have his quote-unquote system of what he wants to play locked down, to have players able to sort of optimise that, and to be able to, you know, carry out the ideas he wants to carry out, whether we think they're right or wrong, you have to give credit to it. At the start of the season, the big thing that made people really raise their eyebrows was the rate that we were scoring goals at. It was the 6 against Wolves. It was the next game scoring goals. It was like swashbuckling Brighton. we're in a place now where we're not scoring as free-flowing as we were. In Europe, the Conference League, we are. Premier League, yeah, of course. But in Premier League, we're not. But last year against Arsenal, we lost 5-0 and we drew, I think. You're coming up against a team that's supposedly going for the title, wants to sort of lay an impression. And it's a game where you look at both teams and go, wasn't really any difference in between it. They will talk about, they'll talk about the chance that they missed at the end. But I mean,
Saliba was offside, man. Stop begging it, man.
But also, I mean,
apparently he weren't.
We had 2 chances.
Apparently he weren't. No. Now everyone's on to Trossard, fam. Apparently he weren't. Yeah, he weren't.
We had 2 chances that we should have put away.
That makes this even funnier. He weren't offside, apparently.
Like,
hey.
Gusto, I mean, he's never scored a goal in his professional career, but he's got to score that chance. And Wesley Fofana's got to score his chance as well. So we can always talk about chances missed. But I think the key takeaway is we definitely are on the right track. You look at Chelsea and go, there seems to be a bit more still. I could talk to you about the things that I'm worried about, or things that need to optimise, but I'm actually happy that there's a good feeling around the camp. We know we can improve, and I feel like we're in a better place than we were last season. You can't ask for more.
No, 100%.
At this current point.
And that's the thing. It feels like you're moving in the right direction. This was almost like a litmus test, if you like. Obviously, being at home, you would have preferred to win.
Yep.
And I think last week against United as well, they were there for the taking, where you could have maybe won it. I think that's where you maybe kind of look at it as, all right, but we're still a work in progress. I think one thing you touched on there, where you're struggling to score the goals as that same rate at the start of the season. I think one of the things is obviously the past couple of games anyway, Cole Palmer. What did you kind of make of his performance today? Another kind of big game, you would say.
I like these questions.
You know what I mean? Where he hasn't really made an impact.
So
is that on him? Is that on Maresca?
My take on the Cole Palmer thing, I spoke to it last week, and I think there was some misinterpretation of what I was saying. Cole Palmer is our big player. He's the one that makes things tick. He's the X factor. He's the one that has that allure that can change the game. Similar to Odegaard for Arsenal, you saw his assist today. So when it's not fully fit, he can pick that moment. I don't think that Cole Palmer's level is dropping in terms of what he's doing on the pitch. There's obviously more attention from last season. You're now having to do more. You're getting double team. I think what's happened this season, if you watch Chelsea games, is at the beginning, him and Nico Jackson almost have this telepathy where they're playing close to each other. Jackson makes a run, Cole Palmer makes a pass. There's a sort of chemistry where he's closer to that side of the pitch. Wherein he's dropping deeper a lot of the time, what's happening now is people are used to you affecting the final third. Like, his general performance of his passing, his movement stuff is still the same, but the effectiveness of the goals and assists and final third play is not there. And therefore, if that's not there, people start going, well, hold on, when you were playing this team and that team, you were scoring goals, you were getting assists. The allure starts to vanish a little bit.
I think that's what Cams was saying last week in terms of, like, everybody has been speaking about his goals and his assists, but he's still a creative player. He's still, you know, able to get on the ball and still control a game, but you haven't been able to see that in these bigger games as well. Is it a thing where, I don't know, they're able to kind of game plan around him, you feel like, or is it a thing where maybe he just hasn't really stepped up to the plate, you feel like?
I think it's not stepped up plate. I think it's 2 things. Like I said, last season, new entity. This year, people are probably preparing the whole game around how do we, if we nullify Cole, that means we probably nullify Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's becoming...
This guy, McTominay scored.
No way.
Again.
He scored again,
That's mad.
Anyway.
So it's a thing where...
crazy over there.
Bro, listen, that PMP in that league is different. But it's a thing where it is harder for him to be effective. I'm not comparing the two in any way, shape or form, but you can see it with Saka when Saka's getting double teamed. He's having to work more to get those opportunities to actually do something. I also feel that similar, again, using the Saka example today, there's times where Saka put crosses and no one's on the end of it. There's still times where Palmer is being proactive, but there's nothing coming off the end of it. So it's like, what's happening? So I'm not worried. I think my issue is, and again, I said it last week, I still think that I would like him a little bit higher up the field.
Yeah.
I think not because I want him to mash goals and assists. I just think it's easier to work with your attacking cohort when you're closer to them. And what I would also say to that is, the reason why this game in particular was interesting today was we played this system where Gusto inverts into an attacking role, right? And then when it's not Gusto, you can actually play with 2 pivot, when Enzo came on and everything. It's almost really weird that Enzo being on the pitch means that the ball moves forward a bit quicker, and then it means that Cole's a bit higher. And it's like, I mentioned it ages ago. The combinations within the Chelsea team are still something that needs to be looked at. And I think sometimes it makes us a bit disjointed. So Cole definitely has to do more. He's our big player. You've got that mantle. You are that guy now. And ultimately, when you're leading the campaigns, when you're the face of the franchise, essentially, that pressure will fall on you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I felt like kind of in those early couple of weeks, it was becoming talks of best player in the league, best player in the world.
What I mean.
And I just feel like when you have that conversation, these are the conversations that happen.
You're
in the
judged
big games,
to a different
people start
standard.
looking at you and like, you need to be the difference maker. You need to be the needle mover. You need to be the one that's kind of... Because I'll be honest with you, Caicedo today bossed it.
That's why he's wearing the captain's
been
number.
bossing it in a lot of the big games, and I'm like, this guy's really setting a tone. Do you know what I mean? Even Cucurella, that was one I thought Maresca a little bit of a smart game plan in terms of for this game. Reece James, sorry, I know you're coming back, but you're dropped. I need Cucurella. You got a game plan for me against Saka. I thought he performed well as well, but
100%. I think
I feel like with the Cole Palmer, like when I'm looking at the game, I think. When I'm looking at these big games, I think he's a bit too easy to play against in these big games. Like, he's trying to wait behind the pocket. He's trying to be behind the pocket. Somebody will fire a ball. Maybe it might be Colwill. It might be Fofana, whoever, right? He's waiting for that pass inside. Or it could be Caicedo, whoever. He's waiting for that between the lines, right? Behind Partey or behind Rice, whoever.
Yeah.
He got it maybe like twice, 3 times in the game. But I think other than that, he's too easy to mark. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, when I was looking at it, I was thinking maybe in these big games, Palmer needs to start off the right-hand side.
Yeah, I agree.
Come in so he can be coming inside so he can be a little bit more free, a little bit more elusive. Because in these big games, when he's standing in the 10, I think he's way too easy to play against. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can get away with it against the lesser teams. But when a bigger team actually say, okay, we identify the danger and they have the quality of a player to go and mark him or whatever. Because if you watched it properly, anytime the ball started going really forward, Partey will just stand towards Palmer, and Palmer's not causing no threat after that. It's like immediately. There was one point in the game, Palmer had 2 touches in like 16, 17 minutes. So he was completely non-existent in the game. And then I'm like, that makes him too easy to play against, in my opinion. If you're going to be a number 10, you need to be elusive. You need to get the ball in different areas. You need to pick it up off the right, pick it up off the left. But I think he's just waiting in them central zones too much, and nothing's going to happen from there. And then when I look at it, right, I'm like, when he is on the ball though, sometimes I'm thinking it's like he wants a glory moment a little bit too much. I think he's too hungry for it. Now I'm not saying, when the attention starts going to people, you're the big dog, I think he's trying to grab the highlight, the highlight moment a little bit too much sometimes in these big games. So I'm just like, listen, I think in the big game, Chelsea needs to put him on the right-hand side, maybe shore up the midfield and let him come inside and be a little bit more elusive. Because right now, in those games, he's very easy to mark.
What I would say to what you said is, with you saying that he should go on the right side, I agree with that. If you put him on the right, you can then put Neto, because for me, Nani wasn't really in the game today. When Neto managed to go out to a different side, we had a bit of different dynamism. But also as well, whilst you have a big player, I expect managers to make big decisions. I'm kind of scratching my head that we spent 200 million and whatnot, and João Felix can't come and be something different or just try to add a bit of spice of life. And I think as a manager, sometimes you have to be able to look at a situation and say, if this player's not being able to affect it, whether he's being marked out of the game, who else can come and do something? I think there is a over-reliance on Cole Palmer. Like, I think I said it 2 weeks ago, I said there's certain times in the big games with Chelsea, it's like if we don't get a penalty or something, we're looking for a shot from outside the box. Lo and behold, today, what happened? Pedro Neto, shot from outside the box. We need to do more to create an attacking cohort that can actually penetrate going forward. And I think a lot of that, as I said again, comes from when Jackson and Cole can play closer together.
But that's also on Noni, that's also on
100%.
Neto, that's also 100%. On Jadon Sancho,
Facts.
that's on Mudryk, whoever. Them guys are going to be the ones that need to step up. Noni today, poor.
Wasn't
really poor. Do you know what I mean?
Wasn't racist at all.
There was a moment where he was on fire at the start of the season. You're thinking, could this be like a season where he really stakes a claim? But now you're just looking at it like...
One or two moments where he just held the ball on too long. Yeah. And you just thought, bro, just pop and go, give and go. What about Neto on the other side, though?
Neto, for me, Neto's always going to try. He's always going to be progressive. When he went onto the right, I was like, yeah, he's bubbling. This is where he wants to be. Like, and for me, what that game showed me is we've got this A and B sort of side rotation right now. if Neto's doing that, then surely by the rhetoric, that means that Noni probably has to go and sit with the B team now because he played better there. That means Neto should get his time on that flank.
Yeah.
So Neto's always going to be potent. I think he's always hungry. He makes great runs in behind. He does his defensive work. I think he should get a run at that flank now because the goal came instantly from that. What was an interesting one for me is last week I said that Enzo had been found out. I found his cameo quite interesting today because he had
a good cameo.
He had intensity to him. He got around the pitch. He had a sense of urgency to him as well. But again,
when you're coming out 1-0 down, you just need to go and try and make an impact that way. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, they need to bring on Enzo when it was 0-0." I said, "Nah, not at 0-0, bro. Not at 0-0." But when they went 1-0 down, Enzo's the right type of sub to make. And listen, it wasn't no glorious assist or anything. He just passed the ball, but
it's more so the urgency.
He was doing. Yeah, I think what he was doing. It was a good sub. I don't know if that means going start. I don't think Lavia was as influential as he was against us as against Arsenal. But at the same time, it was a good midfield battle. I thought the midfield battle between Partey and Caicedo, I think both of them showed out today. I think Partey was, okay, for the goal, he was standing in next to Gabriel or Saliba or whatever it was for some reason. But I think overall, his performance, he was calm. He was getting the ball. Declan Rice was playing with a broken toe. And I just look at it and I thought that was a good midfield battle. I think that's the only thing in the game, I'll be honest, where I was like, all right, there's a bit of quality going on here. It was Caicedo versus Partey on both sides. Other than that, I thought the game was poor. I thought it was a really poor game. I thought Arsenal were going to do more.
One for the tacticals.
I thought Chelsea... I don't even think it was one for the tacticals, bro. I don't even think it was one. You know, sometimes people try to say, oh, it's a chess match. That wasn't really a chess match, in my opinion. I just think there was a lack of quality on both sides, man. Like,
cutting edge.
It was, lack of cutting edge. Saka was nowhere to be seen in this game. Palmer was nowhere to see. Havertz didn't really do anything. Jackson, he had a few moments, one from free kicks, but it wasn't the greatest. I just think overall, offensively, both teams, it didn't feel like they were giving enough. No one wanted to overcommit. But I was thinking, listen, I mean, this is a game where I think one team should have really went for it. Arsenal are trying to claw back trying to claw back. They were 10 points behind to start the match week. They're trying to go back. They're trying to claw that up. And I think Chelsea, I mean, what a statement it'll be going into the international break. Like, 3 points clear of Arsenal, third. Hold on a second. What can we do this season? 7 points behind Liverpool. Who knows? Obviously, I don't think they're going to win the league, but that's what I thought. So I thought both teams were actually going to go for it. And when I saw how they were playing, I was like, nah, this game is just
I think Arsenal did try and go for it, but it was just a lack of cutting edge. I feel like Martinelli should have easily had 2 or 3 in this game, and obviously he did get the opening goal, but should have had 1 or 2 before that. Trossard, when he came on, that big chance at the end, as you lot said, could have been potentially onside. Like, I feel like, had chances to almost win the game, but now you look at it's 4 winless in 4 in the league, and then 9 points behind. Do you think that's a title pretty much? Do you think this was a game where they really look at the title and think, all right, we're going to be playing on the back foot?
Who's that? Arsenal?
Arsenal, yeah.
I think going into this game,
I'll do try to
because the context. That's how I look at it. Is the context of this game?
The whole game is them trying to win the game.
I mean, no, hold on. I'm not saying that every team's going to go out there to try and win, but there's times where maybe teams can commit a little bit more. And I think both teams didn't want to do that. I don't think both teams wanted to commit.
I disagree.
What do you think?
I think that Arsenal did try and win this game. I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't try and win the game.
Obviously, Arsenal are the type of team to. We've been on record saying that Arsenal are not the swashbuckling side they were last year, but in comparison to what they are in terms of like big, strong thing, there were times where they were getting the ball forward, they were putting crosses in, they were trying that. There was this one chance that Saka kept trying to get, and he's like, why is no one getting on the end of these crosses? And that probably then tells you that the quality they've got going forward isn't enough. But that doesn't mean that they're not trying to win the game. I think Arteta will come out and be like, listen, it's a hard place to go to.
Yeah, he said that they dominated.
Yeah, he said they dominated. He said that, it's a good point because it's a hard place that to go to, that we're happy with the point. I think he's probably looking at the City result and everything and thinking, listen, we can change narratives by beating a team like this. I think with where Chelsea are, I do honestly think that the defensive frailties we have sometimes probably hamstrings us. Like, I'm sorry, Sanchez for that goal,
he's not good enough.
I don't think he starts for top 10 teams.
No, Sanchez is not good enough.
In the Premier League, he doesn't start for.
Bro, he's not good enough.
The biggest issue with Chelsea is, you've been on record saying that Kepa's the worst Premier League signing of all time, right?
Yeah.
So how do you manage to do that for a goalkeeper and still sign? How many goalkeepers you've not found? One.
Is it Filip Djordjevic? Who's the backup?
Jorgensen,
whoever it is, bro.
That's Suzuki, though, the black Japanese bro.
Get him. It don't matter, bro.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, too many times this season, you've just seen whether it's... People always say, he's passing out the back and his ability to ping a pass. I'm like, bro, that's not what you have a goalkeeper for, bro. Can you do the basics?
Yeah.
And I know sometimes people say, it's too harsh. Sometimes saying goalkeepers shouldn't get beaten at a near post. But I just feel like that one, bro, you should get a hand to it. At least something. It was just poor. But all in all, I think in the context of the result, I think Arsenal will walk away more pissed about this draw than Chelsea, for sure. Now you're looking at 9 points. I think even... the performance, I think the only kind of saving grace from it is Odegaard's come back and actually looked very good as well. Got the assist as well. So
he was tired as well, man. You looked like he was. But again, that's what we talk about, the quality.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures, brother. Get him out there.
Saka came off with an injury, though.
Yeah.
So we need to see what that is. He'll probably pull out of England camp, but I reckon he'll have like a nice little 2 weeks off. I think it didn't look like anything too serious, so they should be okay. But I mean, that'll be nervous times. I mean, he wasn't good today. He didn't do it. I think some stats were like crazy.
Kuko and Saka, it's an uncomfortable conversation.
They've had some good numbers. Saka's had him some games.
He has, but it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Hey, don't let
let's run back
the Euros final.
It's a bit uncomfortable. Fuck off, mate.
It's a bit uncomfortable. Let me go through these super chats. Dominic Tabo says, when Fuad says it about Palmer, I hear Fernandes. So he's basically saying what you say about Cole Palmer. He sees that about Fernandes.
I mean, that has been the accusation that Bruno.
Yeah, I wrote today Palmer's playing like Bruno.
Sheldon Jackson says, I still believe that until Chelsea get a true striker, they will always struggle. If they had a striker, I think they would have more points. See, this is where I don't think anyone can fault Nico Jackson's output, what he's doing. Like, even when he scored an offside goal, do you know what I said? I said, you know what? He actually put it in the back of the net. The issue is the way he plays enables Cole Palmer to do what he does at the best of it, right? If Chelsea get a natural striker, you might be able to get people at the end of the crosses, but I don't think that Nico Jackson is doing bad. So this whole ban the striker, what does that do to your system? I think it's a bit of a tricky one. Chelsea just have to, and if you spend how much on how many players, realistically, you can't be making any more signings, and that's where it's worrying.
Well, you are. But you are going to make more signings. That's the thing. Like, you're not going to stop.
How?
What do you mean how?
How, Switch?
You're going to make a signings in the summer. You're going to sign players, no? Surely.
Well, not. But do you know who's coming in summer?
Esteval. Yeah, but I mean, hey, Esteval's not making Sanchez make more saves, bro. Do you get where I'm coming from? So you're gonna need to get that. You know what I'm saying? I think with Esteval coming, the problem is obviously he's still young, bro. You know what I mean? He's still young, so you guys are gonna be putting a lot on him. He looks like a talent.
Esteval, 16 and 17-year-old, take
it
to the land. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's gonna be interesting.
I see what Lamin's done for Barcelona.
Nah, Lamin is the exception, not the rule. People need to understand this, bro.
So what do you not think though? Obviously before we move on, what do you think about the title race? So for Arsenal, 9 points behind Liverpool now. Liverpool are on very, very good form. We're going to speak about Liverpool in a bit, but on the Arsenal side of things, I think Fuad, is it over?
I think it's over. I think. Well, listen, I don't like making definitive statements in November. I think it's far too early. Anything can still happen. But in terms of being one of the four front runners, if you like, I don't think that's the case. Now they're coming from the back. They've got to have like a good long stretch of a run.
Yeah, he's moving mad. But let's keep
They've got a good long stretch run
Yeah.
to actually win it. But listen, even at the start of the season before a ball was kicked, I think I didn't have them as the favourites. I had them as second place. I had City as comfortable favourites. City playing the way they're playing. I think now Liverpool have taken that driving seat. It's theirs to lose.
But what is it about Arsenal? Like, obviously you're saying it's over, right? But what is it about Arsenal that makes you say that they can't claw that back?
I don't think they have the same kind of gusto about them that they had the past 2 years. I think the injuries, now you're seeing it's kind of taxing them very heavily as well. Players like Odegaard, Saka injured today. We don't know how long that's going to be. Might not be long at all. But I just don't look at them with the same kind of
panache.
I don't know what the word is, but the last 2 years you almost felt like no matter what they'll get a run going, they'll get something going together. Like now they've conceded the same amount of goals as you lot. Like that's not Arsenal as we knew. They don't look as kind of resilient as before as well, if that makes sense. But they're still playing just as defensive.
But what do you think about? Sorry, bro. The big 6 games. Before anything, the big 6 games. Am I the only one that thinks that the matches this season between the the big six have just been the quality.
Have they not always been like that though? I feel like that's why Sky have kind of moved them away from Super Sundays.
What are you saying? They're giving us Forest and Newcastle.
Yeah, bro.
If
you notice, so many years, bro, how many times have you seen, especially what was the one last week? United Chelsea. That is a horror show.
Yeah, that was horror. That was horror.
Like, I think Arsenal Chelsea sometimes throws good ones, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the top 6 sides are underwhelming when they play each other.
That's the thing, because I think a lot of people, we're looking at the league, for example. We're talking about United. We're talking about the other teams. So we look at the league, and a lot of teams have 15 points, 16, 17, 18, whatever. It stretches to 13th place.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, the level of the league have gone higher. But I'm like, but when you watch these big teams play against each other, we're walking away from these games saying, wow, there was a lack of quality. I vividly remember us saying that about the City-Arsenal game, Chelsea-Man United, you guys today, and amongst other games, Arsenal-Spurs. Remember I came in with the water to wash my eyes. A lot of these games, bro, like the quality of these games. So we can talk about the league is improving, but is the top end of the table improving?
No,
it's not. The top end is declining.
It's the chase impact.
We've always said here that the competitive nature of the Premier League's increased because the rest of it is becoming a level playing field. Like now, if you were to think of your mid-table teams in the Premier League, the names that will come to head would be like Brighton, Bournemouth. That wasn't always the case. That's competitive. At the top, it's not really. And the thing is, because all of these big teams at the top were so used to beating everyone else, it was like, if in our little mini league, I get maybe 2 more points than you, I win the league. Simple. That's all it's been.
And I feel like
that's all it's ever been.
And as you said, I think the chase impact, there's been a lot of improvements there, in my opinion, in terms of signings, managers, the way they play. Whereas I think those big 6 clubs, aside from maybe a City, a Liverpool, Arsenal, I feel like there's been a lot of mismanagement at those clubs, if that makes sense. So the quality has dropped massively at a lot of them.
Also, there's fatigue. There's fatigue at those clubs. You've seen it. City look burnt out. Liverpool burnt out last year. They've been trying to... It's like people are sniffing blood and then trying to capitalise, but it's about, can that chase impact capitalise for a long enough stint? I don't want to call the Leicester title charge an example, but remember, Leicester were just in and amongst it. Everyone else was mucking around, tired, dead.
Yes, I feel like this season for me, it's feeling a little bit like, I remember when we won the league with Van Persie. That season, great from Van Persie, great from us.
Like everything else was tired.
It was tired. Like even us, we were a bit tired, bro. We had like 10 comebacks. Do you know what I mean? We're 1-0 down most games and we'll come back and win. Like, and 15-16 is another season where people point to. I'm kind of feeling like this year is kind of similar. I'm feeling like it might be one of them years you look back at and you're just like, season was kind of tight.
With that said though,
yeah. What are you about to say?
Forest, can you do something?
Is Cam preempting a Liverpool title win and trying to find a way to discredit?
Here we go.
I'm noticing. Because I remember when last time Liverpool won the title, I was like, hey, COVID, asterisk.
I actually backed them. No, I backed Liverpool. I backed Liverpool through COVID because City were the COVID title, not Liverpool. Remember, I backed them. But all I'm going to say is there's 27 games to go.
Relax. The way United fans have been tweeting this last week, I hate you lot when you lot get excited.
Before
the worst thing.
You asked the question about Arsenal. The reason why I thought that Arsenal's title run may be over is less so Arsenal, it's more so everything else. With everything we've just mentioned now, we've mentioned that teams might be tired, there's a lack of ideas, the signings are not invigorating anything. We're talking about City needing to make signings in January. We're talking about Arsenal needing forwards. I think the one thing that Liverpool have is they have this sense of newness in terms of a new manager, but also a sense of jeopardy that you're going to probably lose your best 3 players. So we've got something to fight for. The prime example before we go into them is, you see when they lost against Forest, it reminded me of Lee for sure. They said, I understand it now.
Yeah, I understand it now.
They ain't lost since. I understand it now. I understand it now. They ain't lost since. They've got that sense of something to keep them going. Pep looks like he's tapped out of the race already.
Pep is doing
he's trying to find everything.
He did that 2 seasons ago. We're out of the title race.
Bro, he's trying to do everything at the moment. Remember, he's Simpson pussy, all those type of things. He's trying to find everything to. Hold
on. His name is Pussy. It's Pussy. Simpson Pussy, bro.
Nah, Pussy, bro. Come on, let's be professional, guys.
It's Simpson Pussy. In fact, I'm meant to be his uncle is going to be a guest on the show soon. So show us some respect.
Simpson Pusey.
Yes, please. SP. There we go,
like,
bro.
He's trying to find...
blood.
He trying to be slick there and then throw that in there.
And then Simpson Pussy. I'm like, what are you talking about? What Sims... Bro.
You think I'm pussy?
Bro. What?
But, yeah, they're trying to find everything. I think that Liverpool just have the ability to keep going on. It'll be interesting. Do you see Arsenal making a signing in January to help them?
Himmeland!
What?
Sporting 2-2.
What?
From 2-0 down.
Up, man.
Himmeland! Come on!
Yo,
Come on!
Why did we give these guys a manager?
Come on!
Left the manager
Let's
for a
go!
few months. Let them start for a
Let's
bit.
go!
These are not checking out Portuguese scoreline.
Primera Liga!
They said the last year cussing the Portuguese league.
Come on, man. Premier Liga.
You lot are nasty
Go,
up there.
man.
Nasty pieces of work, man.
They ain't sending him out like that. What you think he's going out on an L? Come on, man. Let's get this done
Anyway,
right, man.
What's next, son?
Yeah, what's next?
We've got to speak about...
I think you should be... You played today? You played today? Let's get into it.
Man City,
Liverpool
Liverpool, top of the table.
You had an interesting tweet. And you said that is Ipswich's first Premier League win since 2002.
When?
2002.
Damn.
How old was you in 2002?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Some of you viewers at home watching this probably weren't even born the last time Ipswich won. And the worst thing is you're thinking, coming into this game, Europa League squad rested. Whole 11 rotated. I think maybe 2 players started. You're thinking, win this game, we go third. Ipswich coming in, they're winless. You know what I mean? Ipswich, all season they've been struggling. Home. Nice 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. How could this possibly go wrong? Only Tottenham Hotspur can knock Man City out the Carabao Cup, batter Aston Villa, and then it comes to winless Ipswich and say, come on, McKenna, we'll give you a little something. Bro, it was horrid, bro. And it's the same almost like inconsistencies we've been seeing all season, brother. Tactically, Ange, today he actually came out after the game.
Took responsibility, innit?
Took some responsibility, and I said, you know what? That's very real, man.
Acceptance stage.
I like that. Hey, listen. But he said, I'm going to evolve. Now I'm waiting for that. You know, like a Pokemon evolution.
Bro, hey. I don't know, man.
Bro, I need to see some evolution because that 4-3-3 leaves us way too open with way too many gaps. And the goals we concede are the same ones we saw against Brighton, the same one we saw against West Ham, the same ones we've been seeing all over the season. Fullbacks are not closing out. Centre-backs are not communicating. Guys getting tap-ins in the box. We saw Mateta do it at Palace as well. Liam Delap, what a player
6
as well.
goals, 6 Premier League goals.
Harry, we retiring you soon, baby. Hey, he's doing it at the lane as well, 3-point lane.
Come lane.
You got Dom.
Come lane.
You got Solanke, you got
Solanke, bro.
Enjoy
Solanke.
How much? 60 mil?
Understudy height.
Come
We're here
on, man.
to take chains.
Listen.
Liam Delap, 2026 World Cup. Kane, count your days, bro. Count your days.
Crazy.
What's interesting for me is you gave Crystal Palace their first win.
Yep.
You gave Ipswich their first win.
Yep.
I don't want to question and say is it a mentality thing or whatnot, but it's quite peculiar that the teams that you lose to are like these just teams that you shouldn't really lose to. I think
Even Newcastle when we lost to them.
Yeah, I think Ange, you know when people are like you've introduced me to a vibe you can't maintain. Last year Ange introduced you lot to a vibe. 3 times manager of the month consecutive, first person to do that, winning, swashbuckling. Of course the injuries came in, but right now there are no injuries. It's like that vibe isn't there. And then we talk about entertainment, yeah, but do you want entertainment to compromise where you want to be? Because sometimes the games are entertainment.
Bro, it's not even entertaining.
I was gonna say sometimes you guys are not even your matches are entertaining because you might lose, but you guys are not entertaining.
Bro, we're not.
I went to the Palace game.
Just because you go a goal down and then
doesn't
come
mean
back,
it's entertaining.
It doesn't make it entertaining, bro. And the thing is there's a misconception of like seeing Spurs with 60-70% possession and thinking, they're dominating games. Bro, it's just passive possession. Man are just knocking it side to side, doing absolutely nothing. The centre-backs are doing to me, to you, to me, to you. It's like, what are we doing? And I've said in this attack, there's no real X-factor quality. There's no players who can make something out of nothing. And I would put Kulusevski back on the wing at this point. Why are you looking at me like that?
You said there's no players in
the attack with X-factor. Who are you looking at the Spurs attacker who's got X-Factor? Please don't tell me you're looking at Son Heung-min and still going off the name brand. That's name brand, B. We're not going off. You think Son Heung-min's X Factor?
No, I'm just wondering. Like, you're
the one that pulled the face and went sideways. Like,
no,
this.
because
so give me answers.
Are you talking about forwards or you're attacking quartet?
I said attackers.
Okay.
Who in that attacker's X Factor?
Okay, cool.
Nobody, bruv. Dominic Solanke, listen, 65 million record signing. He's a good player, but he's not X Factor, bro. And I'm sorry, when your first option off the bench is always Timo Werner. What am I doing here? And the midfield today was just passive as well. Kulusevski started the season off hot. Last couple games, it ain't been there. And the thing is, it's the typical thing like James Maddison last year, where if that creative guy decides to not be there or isn't there for the game, nobody else can create for themselves whatsoever. And Ange's system can only give you so much. But I'm looking at these players as well. We don't have enough strength in depth. January, I need to see recruits from the board. And I need to see some evolution from Ange, huh? Archie Gray, bro. Archie Gray and Bergwijn, they're 18 years old. So Ange is doing the thing where you man are playing Europa League games. And in the Europa League games, they're not exactly covering themselves in glory. Bergwijn looked like a fish out of water against Galatasaray. And then Archie Gray's been covering in defensive positions and stuff. So he's not really being given a chance in midfield. So you can say some of those things are on Ange. And I genuinely feel like in the summer, signing Werner in that on loan or extending his loan set us back a whole year, bro.
I'm going to read something to you. So, since Ange's 10-match run at the start of the season, his record in the Premier League is 17 wins, 5 draws, 17 losses.
Yep.
That is 56 points over the last 39 matches.
What if I told you as well?
That's sack form, bro.
Came to the realization that your watch is fake.
Bro, he's lost as many
as he's won
games as he's won in the last 30.
That's how inconsistent we have been, brother. The second half of last season, everybody remembers what it was. Our arse essentially fell out. And the way we've started this season was the exact same as we did last year. All we've seen this year is a change in the system, which kind of helped us going forward a little bit. But defensively, this made us even more vulnerable. And that's where I'm like, we wanted evolution, but this is a different type of evolution. Even if you look at this whole calendar year of 2024, bro, we've only won 3 away games.
Yeah, 16 points.
The whole of 2024
from 11 games. Ange lost. I just said Ange lost 38 games. 56 points or whatever it was. No, 53. Sorry, 56 in the last 39 games. Conte got sacked with 75 points from his last 38.
Yeah, Conte obviously they sacked him because they didn't want to back him, and then B also he went full volatile in the presses.
Where do you stand on the Ange discussion? Because bro, honestly, just while you were talking, I just wrote Ange into X. And wow,
there was a lot of views in the stadium as well.
There's a lot of views of the fan base now that is fully Ange out.
I actually didn't see Ange out happening.
I'll be honest. Here's the thing. I'm not there. I'm not there personally, and the reason why I'm not there is, listen, coming into this club, it was never going to be a one season we're going to turn into contenders. If we won today, hypothetical, if we won today, it would have been Europa League. We've only got 1 loss. We just knocked City out of the League Cup, and we're 3rd in the league. Things aren't so bad, are they? But it's because of the manner of we're losing. Yeah. That's where I feel like a lot of people are getting rubbed up the wrong way. And I think for me, it's the stubbornness of Ange in previous presses. That's why today, after the game, when he said, you know what, I might have to switch it up a little bit, I'm like, please, that's what I want to hear. And now moving forward, we're going to look even further, because let's not forget, you were the one that put the pressure on yourself to say, second season, I always win, mate.
You got the Carabao.
We're monitoring now. We're monitoring, brother. We want to see some evolution. We want to see some. Can you tighten up that defense?
I'm going to ask you though. Is it for you? Because you're deep. To be fair to you, you're not really. From what I remember, you've never really called for managers out like that at Spurs. However, are you now? Is it like by a thread? Because for example, I always say, how much on that side are you? So for example, if you were to lose your next 2 games. Let's say you got City.
Man City away, Roma away.
Roma away. Let's say you lost both of those. Is that when you're like... So is he is he 2 games away from you being out? Or you...
For me, it has to be we're out of cups. We're top 4 is no longer an option. The way the team is playing isn't functioning. Right now, we've just lost a game in a bad way.
5 league games you've lost in
11. It's bad. I can't lie.
Ten Hag got a sack for that.
We've been very inconsistent. But if you look at the league table, bro, from 3rd to 14th, there's a 4-point gap. Everybody's been inconsistent. For us, it's almost like I feel like it's inconsistencies we can fix. But it's just a case of, are you actually going to fix it?
How for you, how do you fix it? Because I think that's the biggest issue with that Spurs of, you said, consistency. Yeah. Last year, you're storming it. There's never it's always hot or cold. There's never let's fug it out. How do you get to a place where you can have some sort of consistency? Because realistically, you're 3 points behind Forest. That will put you, top 5, top 4. You're still, it's not like it's all gone, but what does he need to do to make this team be functional? Because I don't think...
Step 1, revert back to the double pivot.
Okay.
Get me 2 defensive midfielders in front of that back line, because that back line, as good as you can say they are individually, they can't hold it down on their own.
Okay.
Stop persisting with a high line when Van der Ven is not there. The only reason why we get away with that crime of a high line that we have is because Van der Ven is there. When he's not there and you see Dragusin, sit that bad boy in front of the 6-yard box, because that brother has had one of the worst weeks this week. So for me, I think it's getting some solidity back into that defense. You can have all the, we're doing attacking movements and we're swashbuckling going forward. If you're leaking goals, it counts for nothing, bro. So get me Pape Sarr, Basuma. There, please.
I don't want to take it away from this. What do you think you need? If you were to make signings, what signings would you make? Because I know you say you don't trust in your forward.
I hate that question though. I can't lie. Signings.
No, because
fans can't sign the players.
No, because the reason why I ask is because
what you mean in terms of what would you need to address. For me, wingers would definitely be somewhere we need to address.
So the reason I ask is because
and strength in defense.
Obviously, our friend of the show, Toby, put out a tweet and saying that the Son situation at the end of this year is an interesting one, because obviously his importance is still statistically somewhat there, but he presents an issue for you guys.
Block.
Yeah. So realistically, what do Spurs do? Like what?
That's why I think they said they're not renewing his contract and they're only taking up basically the extension for next year. Is you have to phase him out at some point. We've used him up as much as we could. Last year, you got some change out of him when you move through the middle. You've got Solanke now. He's clearly not going to play there. That's why I feel like that signing of Werner on the left wing is almost even worse, because it's like this old man who you're meant to be replacing, you've got nothing to replace him with.
You see there how many Koreans are in the stadium,
100%. Yeah, and that's the other thing. For marketing purposes, that brother's going to continue to be used like a bar of soap, bro. So I think defense, you need to sign bodies in there, whether it's a substitute for Udogie or a centre-back. And then wingers, you need to... top tier winger.
It's hard to get them in this.
And it's hard. And in January as well.
Not even City have top tier wingers. Not even, you know what I'm saying? But it's been breaking news. Sporting!
It's 4-2. I just see the chat now.
Don't play with my gaffer, blood. Don't play with him, blood.
Are you going to see this at United? Are you going to see this at United? Sit down, man. Sit down, man.
What are you talking about, blood?
Dumb guy, bro.
We send off the right way. The right way. That's what we do. Amorim.
Hey, nah. Sporting Watcher's killing me, man.
Hey,
that's too funny.
Everybody, send him off. Hey, Fuad, come on, clap for him. Clap for him. Nice send off,
I ain't clapping no Amorim, bro.
I've got to show to you, man. Before we move on from Spurs, I think it's only right I give you the floor to address the comments from Hugo Lloris's book this week.
Who cares about Hugo Lloris?
No.
What the hell?
What did you make? What did you make of that?
Because he dropped the autobiography, Earning My Spurs, and I was like, yo, that's hilarious. But he said before the 2019 final, they had watches given to them by one of the watch company sponsors. Obviously, Daniel Levy brought all the players in, and it said Champions League finalist, and he was basically, he lost it internally, and he said even amongst the players, we were looking at each other like, bro, why is the board and owner celebrating us getting to a final? Like, we haven't crossed the line yet.
And they gave them before the game.
Yeah, before the game. He's like basically, this is taking the defeatist attitude of we've already lost, whatever. And he goes, that's why it took even longer afterwards for us to recover from it. And he goes, the thing that added almost insult to injury was we lost the final, and then it was the next preseason, Amazon cameras all up in your face. And it's like, we didn't even get a chance to digest it. And then the whole Pochettino sacking happened. Bro, that whole year was a mess. Like, that year set us back like 3-4 years. And we didn't recover till Ange got here. And now we're 1 year Ange later, and they're talking about Ange out. You lot forget where you came from. And if Ange goes, who's going to come in? They're going to call for Iraola and Thomas Frank, as if they're going to leave their beautiful situations to come to this mess.
I mean, Iraola
struggle.
A good one, though.
Don't run from the grind. Yeah? Let me see some evolution. Bring me that trophy.
Bring back Conte.
Whoa. He's chilling at Napoli now, bro.
We go out to win the league, mate.
Let me go through these super chats quickly. Dominic says Cam's Amorim. GP says
you already started that.
I saw Ty and Robbie in the queue at T.
Where?
For a T. I saw Ty and Robbie in the queue for a T.
At Arsenal. At the game, probably.
Yeah, that's good.
Jenna Talia says, you never walk alone. You all laugh to ask who's laughing now. Obviously about Liverpool. Jerk Hagger says,
they do it.
glued you where you wanna play FIFA.
Wait, why does her picture say current with Fuad? Go back to that last super chat. That bro, I'm telling you right now, that said Fuad and the thing. Go back to the last super chat by Jenna. Go back to the last super chat. Production, are you there?
No, you
look. Current with Fuad, bro. What the yo?
I might be sending super chats from here.
Oh no. Is that your short way?
You'll never walk alone, you laughed at us. Who's laughing now? They even write like me.
Mohammed bin Saeed says signings LFC needs to win and Salah for Ballon d'Or. We've also got another one here which says from Moke, which says haven't forgot the X Factor of my man on the right. Talks from Cams on Salah. At his worst, Prem 19 goals a season minimum. Apologise, please.
Hey.
I just caught stuff.
Wait, put the camera on him, yeah. Yeah, the streets do not forget.
We talk about Salah many times since then, bro. Man, be pulling it out. We talked about it many times since then, bro.
Where should we go? City first or Liverpool? Oh, actually, should we speaking that you're speaking on?
We played today.
Yeah, I'm saying that you're speaking Amarin. Do you want to Ruben?
You know,
Ruud Van Nistelrooy, sorry.
Listen, do you know what it is, right? Like, see, this last 2 weeks, my childhood dream has been completed, you know. My childhood story, you know, Ruud Van Nistelrooy, the one that made me support this football club, comes in. Imagine, so imagine Ledley King being the manager of Spurs for 4 games. Imagine Didier Drogba being the manager of Chelsea for 4 games. Just imagine the feeling. I was going to say Lampard, but he's already come on past. You know what I'm trying to say? I've got to add someone else now. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that, coming 4 games and leaving undefeated. 11 goals scored in 4 games. My heart is full, people.
Nah, okay.
My heart is full. So, do you know what? Because it's, we're a halal show. No alcohol.
Yeah.
But I want to pour out a drink for Ruud. And I want to take a cheers. You're Dutch as well. So
you know what?
I'll definitely cheers to that. Yeah. Let's have a toast for Ruud Van Nistelrooy, please. Let's have a toast. I mean, you know what? We're gonna use J2O, people, as you can see. No alcohol.
I like that. Mashallah.
J2O.
Mashallah.
Let's have a little drink for Ruud, man, because listen, what he's done for my football club: 150 goals in 219 games, 95 Premier League goals in 150 games. You know, let me pour it out for you, man. Let me pour it out.
Come on,
there
bro.
you go.
Appreciate it, man.
There you go, right there. Let's get it
What was your favourite moment of the Ruud era?
Oh, I gotta say, unfortunately, we didn't win the game. But the celebration after the Bruno goal against Chelsea, he just ran. I was like, I've seen that before. I've seen that 150 times in my life. So can we please, everybody, if you're drinking at home, if you got a cup, just raise your cup for Ruud Van Nistelrooy.
To Ruud.
Cheers, lads.
To Ruud.
Cheers, lads. To Ruud. Thank you very much, mate. You know what I mean? Cheers, Ruud, mate.
Till next time.
Till next time. You know what I mean?
Because Amarim ain't keeping him, you know.
If this was the last time, I enjoyed you.
Nah, fully, bro. I see him talking about, I would love the manager. Amarim has to get rid of him.
I know. But the thing is, though, don't every assistant manager want to one day manage the club that they're...
Oh, no. You weren't part of my team originally.
Yeah. It's true.
Come back for the next caretaker.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Especially with how in your side, there's no room for sentiment.
What you know
Van Nistelrooy could be like OTF Jam, you know what I mean? Like, he could be ready just to sing when it's time to sing, you know what I mean? You got to keep your circle close, you know what I mean? So Amarim might have to get rid of him.
Nah, for real.
I love it. Listen, I can't lie. If he comes in, like, bro, he's elevated his legend.
Yeah.
He's elevated his legend.
I didn't think he was hustle.
This result is beautiful for me, honestly.
It's a win-win for him. It's a win-win. But talk us through the game briefly.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I feel like one thing that I've noticed with him, I think we're just a little bit defensively more compact. You know what I mean? We're just a bit more patient with our defensive work. I think under Ten Hag, we're doing the 3-1-6. It was just a mess. You know what I mean?
Right,
teams are running
10.
Bro, we ain't seen a team run through our midfield like that since Van Nistelrooy's been in charge. Like, just a free run on the whole team. So I think he's just come in and just done basic things. I don't think he's done anything revolutionary. Basic things. But the thing is, though, there's still some same issues that are still there. Marcus Rashford, still not performing. Certain players, Højlund, still not scoring, still not performing. So there's still things that Amorim is really going to have to work on. But all it was really is, we've seen this before, new manager comes in, gives some guys some confidence. You got 4 games, go and impress. Just be defensively wise and then go and do the rest. You know what I mean? One person that I think has stood out massively in this period has been Mazraoui. 4 great games, I think, under Van Nistelrooy. So he's someone, because especially, where is he going to play? Is he going to do the wing-back thing? Are we going to play the wing-back role? First of all, I want Amorim to come and do that. But is Mazraoui going to play that role? Is he going to play one of the centre-back? I don't know. So overall, man, it's just about enjoying the football again. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the table. Yeah, we may not be in the top half, but I heard it's only 4 points to the top 4. I heard we're closer to top 4 than Arsenal are to the title.
4 to 9. Good maths.
We talk soon. 27 games to go.
Hey, this is going to be my favourite. Scully Cows on this side, and then you have Optimus Cows on this side. Hey, I love those two.
Quickly before we move to other Manchester club, with the 3-4-3 situation, who are the players that you think can be optimised? Because obviously it's clear that you spent forward on you spent money on 2 forwards that are like Højlund's trying to find his feet. Xerxes like in and around. Do you feel like having a 3-4-3 where there's jeopardy for positions can help? Because ultimately only 2 of Bruno, Rashford and those guys can play there. Only 1 of Rasmus and Xerxes can play there. In your 2 midfield positions, only 2 of the 4 can play there. So it means that there's no room for all of this sort of here and there.
Yeah, you know what it is? I did a TikTok about it, and I think Ahmad, he played well today, and I think he came on and he played well last week. In the Europa as well. I think he could be a big winner in this Ruben Amorim appointment. You look at Trincao, you look at Marcus Edwards, kind of guys that you bunch in maybe a similar kind of way as Ahmad, who thrive in the system that Ruben Amorim plays, one of the ones behind the striker. So I'm looking at him as a potential real winner in this appointment if he comes in and plays this 3-4-3. But they're saying that he wants to play that. So if he does, that's going to be interesting. Obviously, there's still Mainu to come back, still Lenny Yoro to come back. These are guys that I think will enjoy that role as well in the team. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, some players are going to be dropped. Like, some players are going to be dropped. And you're thinking about it. I saw that Pedro, what's his name? Pedro something for Sporting. Yeah, something along those lines. He's pretty similar in a kind of way to
Pedro
Bruno.
Goncalves.
Yes, he's a similar kind of way to a Bruno. So, and he's thriving with Ruben. So with Ruben Amorim like a Bruno. So who's going to be missing out? Is it Rashford? Is it Garnacho? Who is it? It's going to be
the one I'm looking at. I think
he's going to start Bruno.
I think his role might have to change.
To where though?
Behind the 2 strikers.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, he'll be one of the 2, no?
One of the 2 behind the striker.
Because you have to have 2
him and Ahmad.
Yeah, so I'm saying who's going to lose their spot. Like, I'm thinking that maybe he might go with a Garnacho at the wing back role. He might try that. I'm just trying to be creative. I think he might try something like that. But I am looking at Rashford and I'm thinking there's always a winner and there's always a loser of a new manager. Gravenberch, big winner of the slot era. Endo, big loser. There's always a loser, bro. I'm looking at Rash. I'm looking at the form. I'm looking at how he plays as a player.
It's one of the front 3. I think Rash, Højlund, Xerxes.
I think he'll play Højlund because he has to try and kind of, go careers, kind of find a little thing going in there. Xerxes, bro, I'll be surprised if he's here next summer, bro. I did not know it was going to... Bro, he looks off it, bro. Like, when you're like...
But a new man... Sometimes all you need is a new manager.
Oh, boy, man.
But it's pain. Because he's got technical ability, but even now, I don't know.
Do you know what it is? He's too cool.
Bro, you can't do that in the Prem, bro.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you got to be a level of Berbatov and, Cantona and stuff.
He almost plays like he's too cool, and it's like, bro, you need... But I feel like that was the big issue with Gravenberch last season. like Liverpool fans, correct me if I'm mistaken, but it almost just felt like he didn't have that
engine,
that doggedness about him. And get the right manager,
True.
get an arm around him.
Yeah. But what
he
position?
looks like one of the best
As the 9?
midfielders in the world.
Because I've been watching the Amarim's tactical videos, and the way like Sporting play direct, like not long
for a bit,
but they go very quick.
Yeah.
They play forward vertical balls very quick to the striker. Yeah. Xerxes is complete opposite to that.
Yeah, the only way I'd see it working is him being the 9.5 he is enables the 2 forwards next to him to be potent.
Yeah.
Going towards goal. What I found interesting is it's something that's always spoke about United, people returning to fitness when something happens. What's your thoughts on that?
Fitness?
Yeah, like Luke Shaw's back in training. Everyone's just like, I wanted to get your opinion on that. Hey, everyone's fit now. Everyone's ready to play.
We're doing everything to make sure Shaw stays on the bench, bruh. Nah, you can't do that, bro. You can't. This guy went to England, hadn't played for Man United since February. Went and played the Euro flipping final, and semi-final for England. Like, and then wants to just come back in the Ruben Amorim era, bro. This guy's getting a silver spoon, bro. Nah, sit down, watch Mazraoui play football, bro. Watch Dalot play football. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? But
last year's back in training.
Or maybe he can try that left centre back role in the back 3.
That's what I think. I think the left centre back.
Yeah,
role
the
is probably
wing
where
back
he's
thing. Yo, after all them, I don't know what he's been eating over the break as well. Yeah, I'm trying to say, so I don't want to even.
Haribos?
Oh my gosh.
Probably more than that, bro.
All right, cool. Let's go
bro.
into Manchester City. The headline is 4 losses consecutively. The first time in Pep Guardiola's career that's happened. A lot of people are bringing up the Bayern Munich, but officially it's a draw because it went to penalties. So this is officially 4 losses. Obviously Pep's coming out and saying that after winning how many, maybe it's time for another team to win. Of course, they played against Brighton and lost the game.
4 in a row.
4 in a row is unprecedented. Bro. You know, like when it was that COVID era, unprecedented times.
Well, it's the first time in Pep Guardiola's career.
That's what I said, it's unprecedented.
Crazy.
It's unprecedented.
Some people will say he did it at Bayern, but one of them was a draw with Dortmund.
If you were not drinking your drink and listening,
you said it.
So look at that Man City team, though. Look at that Man City team, though. Like, was anybody surprised by that yesterday?
Nope.
But outside of the team, just the way they're performing.
Yeah.
It could have been a fully fledged team. The way Manchester City are performing, you don't have any confidence they're going to steamroll teams.
No, and listen, they haven't been all season, but I feel like that with this one, like with this result personally, if you're poo-pooing more on City instead of giving credit to Brighton, because I feel like Brighton's second half, Baleba came on.
I told you, man.
One-man army changed the game, bro. He said, I'm taking the press to you, brothers. Baleba.
I told you, man.
Monster performance, bro.
Ruben,
I was like,
watching,
I told you, man.
Yo. And Herzler, I actually got to give Herzler some credit because I remember when he lost to you lot, I was like, hey, brother, don't become another De Zerbi where it's all nice swashbuckling football, but then at the back, you're very suspect as well. And since then, I think they've gone on their...
That was a crazy performance against Chelsea.
Yeah, and they've had their like best start, I think, in years in the Premier League. So credit to him. He's actually kept it consistent. And I think the second half, it was almost like they stopped respecting City. Because as I'm saying, when you look at the City team, bro, aside from Haaland, Foden, you should be looking at those other names and thinking, we can take the game to them.
Top end quality.
Yeah, the top end,
like
it's not there. Yeah. And I was like, in first half, it almost felt like Brighton were like, oh, it's Man City. Let's give them respect. And then second half, when Baleba came on, he said, what?
Yeah.
Come. He said, Kovacic, come. Mush. Gundogan, I know you were getting a few touches in the first half. Let's end that
O'Reilly
there.
looked good as well when he did his thing.
João Pedro as well when he came on.
I had a lot of good things about O'Reilly.
João Pedro for a while.
I've been
João Pedro for player.
I just think with City, we have to be real. For so many times when City have operated in the league, there's been a fair factor that, oh my gosh, City are coming to town. They're going to whitewash everyone. That factor with every single loss and every single performance where maybe they're not losing, but people are running through. If you're a manager and you're watching these tapes of City, you're probably thinking, right,
this is what we're going to do.
This is the one I finally found it.
Yeah.
The fair factor of Manchester City, unfortunately, is wavering away. And it doesn't look like they've got anything to counteract that. KDB's coming back. Okay, well, KDB's legs are going to go. We can deal with that.
I tried to tweet it into existence as well. It didn't really work, man. I was like, KDB magical moment is coming.
That shit expired now,
man. We did it against Newcastle last year. I thought, yo, what? I got one more.
Man. Pep trying to run them plays.
Haaland's going to score a goal. Okay, Haaland might score a goal, but looking at the defence, we can score a goal of our own. The fear factor is not there, and I think it's the scary position for them to be in, because if you can't beat anyone because of your performance, you can't beat anyone because of your stature, you're going to have to find something new. And we're always used to Pep having to do something, whether it's wingers or goal-scoring defenders, or everyone's waiting for what's next. But what if for the first time there isn't actually something to bounce back?
That's the thing. Like, you know, a lot of the times, I've said the same two words many times. I keep saying champions respect, and we're all giving them that, right? But I mean, this is the worst it's been. But for me, this is the worst it's been. Yes, Liverpool, unless City have done it before and come back, but they've never lost 4 in a row. So factually, this is the worst it's been. In terms of X factor on the pitch, in terms of how good they are to watch, in terms of patterns of play, this is the worst it's been. Even 16-17 City, when he first walked in, for me, it was better than this, what they're serving up right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. But is there not a part of it where it's like, it had to happen at some point? Because I feel like the past 4-5 years are like a glitch in the matrix. We never saw those standards get set, that Liverpool and City both set. We didn't see teams set that type of standard for 30 years in the Premier League before that. Since then, even, I don't think teams will make that a normality. So for them to drop off, and especially now with all the injuries they have, you're looking at Simpson Puzzi, you're looking at Kyle Walker, who's looking washed.
Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, like Gundogan coming back for a part 2. Like, these aren't top end like that. So I feel like there was going to come a point where maybe you could catch them in the off-season and things like that. And everybody always said there's going to come a season, and everyone thought it might be when Pep leaves.
Yeah.
I think the lack of investment over the summer now is going to look a little bit more.
I agree.
And I think in January they will activate, but I'm not that surprised with the current City team and all the injuries and players that they do have out, that they're being caught out and they're not looking as good or as fluid. It's like, I think everybody's looking at City and thinking, it almost feels like groundbreaking news every time they lose or every time they perform bad.
It's what happens. I get what you're saying.
Set the gold standard. When diamond standard.
Yeah, when you're the champions, you know what I mean, and anything happens to the champions, you're always gonna, you know what I mean, you're always still gonna react that way. But I do get what you're saying. When you just look at it, player for player, what they're serving up, I'm not surprised no more, bro. I'm not surprised no more. Yeah,
no KDB, no Grealish,
even when them man
no Rodri.
But even when them man have been out there, I feel like it was still a bit like
missing a beat.
Yeah, it was still a bit like Doku doesn't score goals, Savio doesn't score goals, Jack Grealish doesn't, Bernardo doesn't. These guys don't. It's only Haaland that's really scores goals in this. So I'm looking at it.
Sure, I was gonna say that. I think that's gonna be more and more looked at. Doku and Savinho, their end product. I think there's gonna come eyes under it. I think Savinho as well. He's almost unfortunate because a lot of the times players get like a year to download the Pep data.
Yeah. Now it's like, brother,
he came in, gave little flashes of Mahrez, and everybody went,
yeah, we need you.
Go now, dance, and it's like, oh, okay. Now he has to do it the whole season. I think he's going to go through patches and things like that.
So, one thing I wanted to say.
Goals
quickly.
Outside of Haaland is definitely going to be a problem.
It's one of the issues. But one thing I want to say is, we're having this conversation about City, and I don't want to move to Liverpool yet. But if not for what Slot's doing, you can almost paper over the cracks. They're still second in the league. They're still above Arsenal with everything that's going on. If not for Slot having this almost perfect rendition with Liverpool, I don't think the conversation would be the same. I think it's because of the amount of point difference that Liverpool have managed to eclipse so far. It's like, what's really going on at City? And I think that's why it gets really interesting now, because as you said, champions respect means that you can still, like heavyweight boxers, you still might have that knockout in you, but it is damning. And last year, I know something we spoke about was the late goals with City. We were speaking about, defenders popping up, the John Stones effect and everything. We didn't really say it was an issue. We just said that that's what champions do. It's like year on year, this machine's got more tired, and now it's like, can you do open heart surgery to something that's this battered? I don't know.
I think a lot of
contracts are coming to the end of the season. Though I think a lot of players in their 30s. It's a City squad that needs freshening up.
Yeah.
I think when you saw the likes of Doku, Savinho coming in, you're thinking, okay, these are the types of talent, but I think there's more that needs to be done at City. And I think you look at their windows over the past year or two, it has not been active, busy windows, if that makes sense.
With the City, you mentioned Pep. You mentioned Pep. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds with Pep. What would you make if they were not to retain the title this year and he was to leave? What would you make of that decision?
Well done, bye.
You done your thing.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's gonna look like people are gonna say Slot. People are gonna say Slot run him out of the Prem.
Aye.
Come on, man. Nah.
I will run that narrative, bro.
Anytime Pep wants to leave, he should be able to feel free to leave. One thing about all of this though is that I think everyone is a little bit scared to criticize Pep. Like, we're saying the players, we're saying this. Every time City lose, they bring up all these records of with and without Rodri. You're telling me the GOAT Pep whole system relies on one man. On one man. Because I remember when Saliba went down, we all told Arteta, shut up and dribble. You know what I mean? We said, yeah, keep your mouth shut. You go win the league. I remember when VVD went down and we were like, go and do a thing. Let Klopp go and do bits. Now Rodri goes down, and every time City lose, we just have to talk about, well, you know what I mean? Rodri. No, what is Pep doing to adapt to the fact that Rodri's not there? He's playing Rico Lewis. He covers it. No, but it's not only about just throwing personnel there. Yeah. City are playing the exact same way they would if Rodri was on the pitch, but without Rodri. Of course you're going to get gaps. Yeah. How about drop your line? What teams are running through one-on-one every single game? How about drop the line 5-10 yards? How about defend a little bit in banks of 4, a little bit deeper, so people are not just running through your midfield? I think everyone's scared to criticize Pep because, yeah, Pep has done his thing, but I'm sorry, I'm old enough to remember Alex Ferguson getting criticised. If Alex Ferguson get criticised, so can Pep Guardiola.
100%.
You know what I mean? Let's not be scared to do it.
He is almost the one that, you're talking about champions respect. I think he's the one that gets it to an even higher degree.
I hear it, but...
And let me just quickly pull up. I've got a screenshot of a table here, of what the table looked like last year when it was 14 games into the season. 14 games into the season, Liverpool were top with 31 points. Man City were 8th with 23 points.
When was that? Last season?
That was last season. 14 games into the season. They still went on to win the title. That's why people are scared to kind of criticise Pep a little bit.
It feels different for me.
But this is just a calendar year ago. We're going back. They were 14 points behind, bro. 14 points.
Wait, hold on. What?
Yes!
Liverpool
were game week 14. I've got it here. Yeah.
Liverpool
31 points Liverpool had.
31 points.
Man City had a game in hand, mind you. They only played 13 games, but they were 14 points behind at the time. So even had they won that game, they would have been 11 points, which is more than what it is now.
Yeah.
There's still more games to play.
I don't think they're as good. I don't think they're as good now, man. I don't think they're as good now. They had Rodri there, obviously. They had Foden on Player of the Year form. Yeah. Brother, Foden looks... I don't even know... Has he been Space Jammed or something? I don't know who this brother is.
Wait, so injuries-wise, who else is missing though? Because we have to account for that.
Grealish, Doku... I can get the list.
Yeah, but Doku's been in and out. It's not like Doku's missed every single game.
So Stones...
Doku's been there.
Stones is a big one.
Stones has played a lot of games.
Bro,
they're not like injuries that are like... They've been missing like 10 games. Stones is there every now and again. Doku's there.
But they've been in and out of the side.
Yeah.
There's
not been
injuries.
consistency.
There's not just been one injury. That's the thing. So Stones, Diaz, Rodri, Grealish, Oscar Bob, of course.
They're saying fake. Those stats are fake, by the way.
Which one?
The 14 one.
What, the table?
Yeah.
It's a Premier League score.
Where'd you get it from? X?
Yeah.
You know them. You can't trust X, bro.
No?
You can't trust X.
What I would say though is,
verify.
On a slightly different...
Let me go on the actual Premier League.
On a slightly different note, what I will say though is something I've noticed, especially this season within football, I think sometimes we don't factor for like the human nature of football sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, Arsenal, Odegaard, one of their best players. The fact your captain's out, even if you're one of the best or worst teams, it does a lot to the team. I think Manchester City, I'm not just saying it's just the Rodri effect, but having your key players missing, it does affect the team. And I get what you're saying, Guardiola the best manager ever, has to find a way to get around that. But you're seeing it more than ever, especially at the top level now. If you take the key players out of key big teams, there's a difference. There's not many teams that you can take their best player away and you can see them.
Yeah, they said there were 8 points. So it's 8 points. Are you sure it's the 14? I think.
Yeah, it is 8 points. I did my math wrong still.
Oh my.
Yeah, my bad. I got the math wrong.
Oh my god.
No, the table was legit. The math was wrong. It was 8 points, not 11. So yeah.
Send this mother efforts back to school, please, people. You got the red cups. You think you're still in college or something, bro? He gave you the red cup.
Man said, what's in this?
Bro, I think he's back in college, bro.
You put something in my cup, bro. You put something in my cup.
We don't condone it. But listen, man. Let's see what City could do. We've got to speak about Liverpool, though.
Yeah.
We have to.
Top of the table.
Oh, we definitely do.
Mohamed Salah. What more is there to say? I mean, just imperious at this point in time. Are Liverpool in the driving seat now? You just mentioned that it was 8 points lost and everything. You've mentioned are Arsenal still in this? Let's talk about the Liverpool perspective now. Are Liverpool in the driving seat to win this league?
Yes, of course.
Do you think they will win the league?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I think Liverpool win the league?
Before Liverpool answer that question, I think Liverpool need to put as much possible gap between them and Man City from now till the end of January.
But the thing is, I think you know what
mission one has to be that.
I think Liverpool are gonna beat Man City when they play, in December. I think it's in December.
Listen,
I think you the way you're letting man run through, I dare you let Salah run through like that, bro.
Hey,
good night, mate.
You see the goal as well?
Yeah, bro.
Assist to self.
Yeah.
Assist to self.
Yeah.
Bro, let Salah, bro. The way they've been letting Adama, Cameron Archer, Semedo, Semenyo, and then man run through. Yeah, let Salah do that.
I think
packed.
Obviously, big up Babs. You had Babs last week. There's all this talk of like Arsenal and all this types of City and everything. Sometimes when you're focused on a certain thing, people can just drift past. Liverpool are just doing their best at minding their own business and doing what needs to be done. Yeah, we lost to Forest. People are we lost at Anfield. Okay, cool. Each game, tick. They're in a position now where they have a fair factor. Everyone's like, this slot ball is crazy. Coming through, bopping teams. Mo Salah is looking like one of the informed player of the league. And we always talk about how a team setup is, right? Of your goalkeeper has to be on point. They've not had Alisson, by the way. Kelleher played more games than Alisson last season.
Kelleher is
held it down.
Elite, bro.
Thank you.
Get him a starting job, bruv. In the Premier League.
They've got that Ortega, innit?
They've got better than Ortega, man.
Ortega's good though.
Ortega's a bit. How old is Ortega? He's at 30, blood.
I didn't even know.
So,
man,
they've got that. They've got Virgil doing what Virgil needs to be done. Central midfield doing what needs to be done.
Hey, give Konate more credit,
I was going to say, both Konate
I don't like
might be the best in the world.
Bro, Konate
might be the best in the world, bro. Watching that brother defend,
he loves it.
It's pure poetry.
He loves it.
It's art, bro. Like, I love seeing him almost encouraging people for the 1v1. He goes, come, me and you, Martinelli, let's go.
Yeah.
Whoop, into the sideline. And he does it every single game, bro. And it's like, I don't know whether he has to stay fit for the whole season. I think, and that's when people are going to start proper giving him his flowers. Yeah. But, bro, he has been immense. And I think, obviously, Virgil being so good has kind of just, Virgil's playing well. They're playing well as a unit. And they just keep getting lumped in. But him individually, I think he has been a little bit above.
Bro, because do you know what it is? He's engaging more. He's engaging in the wider areas. He's engaging a little bit higher as well on the ball. Van Dijk is more of like the sweeper kind of role. I think because Van Dijk has this aura and he's Van Dijk, everyone, at the end of the game, you see Liverpool clean sheet, you say, hey, Van Dijk masterclass. But if you're watching it closely, not saying Van Dijk's been excellent this season.
Super.
But then Konate was getting busy. So I do think he deserves his credit today, man.
But again, 100%. With everything we're saying, because obviously people were saying Gravenberch for the midfielder of the league.
Another one. Best midfielder in the world.
So listen to what it's saying. Best centre-back in the world. Best midfielder in the world, Mo Salah.
Most informed in the world.
So, how can you look...
No, there's people who are informers or lower.
I understand
that. You know what?
Mamouche, boy.
That's my
you want to come back, big bro? You want to come back, big bro?
Salah. It's time to, like the dad and Abu Chika, bro. Yo, it's Mamouche and Salah era, bro.
Hey, the Abu Chika callback legend for that.
Facts. But I think people are sleeping on what Liverpool could potentially do this year. I think they've conceded 6 goals in the league, bro.
I think people were sleeping at the start, but I think over the past 2 weeks, maybe, nobody's sleeping.
People up.
They've woken people up. They are right now in the driving seat for the Premier League. We were saying Dos Locos midweek as well. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't. I think they're big contenders for the Champions League. And you look at it, they've already played 6 of the top 8 or whatever.
They've banked their points in Champions League.
Got there, went Arsenal away, got the draw. Went to Leverkusen, who'd only lost twice in 70 games or whatever. Smashed their back doors in.
Smoked them.
AC Milan, who just battered champions of Europe, Madrid, battered them as well. Every test that has been put in front of them, they've wiped the floor with it, bro. They've had 1 loss, and their reaction since that loss, and everybody keeps thinking, Liverpool have even churned out the maximum they can of this team. What's Trent done this season? Defensively, he's improved, but going forward, We still haven't seen the same old Trent. Robbo, same thing. They haven't figured out the number 9 position. I feel like Szoboszlai, still a mile off. McAllister's been okay. There have been few key pieces with Diaz, Salah, Gravenberch, the 2 centre-backs and the keeper that have kept this team going, but I still think there's gears to go as well. That's the scary thing about this. Only made 1 signing in the summer, by the way. I still think he's sitting on a purse.
He doesn't even play.
Doesn't even play. It's almost the
he's
same.
an injury bench.
It's literally, this is where you have to give a manager his credit.
Fact.
This is coaching.
Curtis
I took
Jones.
the same group from last year and I've kept them there.
Yeah.
And I've made them even better. And one thing he does is similarly like Maresca as well, I think. Game to game, he tweaks the tactics just a little bit. All right, Gravenberch this game, a little bit more further forward. McAllister, maybe double pivot this game. And I'm like, bro, tactically, he's got it spot on. And I still think there's gears to go in this Liverpool team. I still think there's signings to be made in this Liverpool team. Driving seat comfortably.
If I was Liverpool, I would jump in the market this January.
Believe us.
In short.
Cemented.
In short. But yeah, I mean, if they can get
Believe us.
like that. But if I'm Liverpool, I'm ensuring we win the title this year. Do you know what I mean?
You have to. Last week I said it.
Similar like when Alisson, Van Dijk, that January.
Remember
when that January happened, the Champions League came, then the Premier League. They were almost like game changers at that time. Something along those lines.
Remember when Arsenal, if Arsenal had got Caicedo that year,
the January
22-23, they might have won the league, but they ended up having to get a Jorginho, who, by the way, I think contributed very well as well. They got, who is it? Jorginho and who else? Trossard. And Trossard. Both of them contributed well, but maybe if they had just got that little bit of higher quality.
But also, what Fuad's saying as well, it was those signings were great for the moment, but for the long term, they now probably have to be signings that are replaced. I think Liverpool, in terms of what they're doing in the slot era, you can make signings that are not just for this window. I think that with what they're doing, you potentially, if that base stays the same, you potentially have enough. If they beat City, the mighty City that we think we're going to come back, how many points is that between them and City?
They're packing up City, man.
Listen.
They're packing up City when they link 1st of December.
Let's do it.
I want to see what happens with Real Madrid.
Let's say all things stay the same. They beat City. It is 5 points now.
It's 8 points.
It goes to 8 points.
No, that was the 8 point
City
gap.
have their bogey.
That was the 8 point gap coming. That was the 8 point gap at 14 games last season. I was telling you, City still won.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
But that'll be a blow if they beat City. If they beat City, that's like a proper gut punch.
That's where even I feel like even if City make January signings, I don't know.
It might be a bit too late, man.
When they sniff it, if they sniff it, they gotta go. But bro, you look thinking about it. I think this is the second best. I think he might have the best start from a manager. I think maybe with Jose.
It's the best.
It's the best. And in terms of start to the season, Liverpool 19-20 had 31 points in 11 games. This team have 28. Was it 28?
What points?
28 points in 11, is it?
11.
So they got 9 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Whereas with Klopp, they had 10 wins, 1 loss in 19-20. So right now, they're only 3 points off pace to the great 19-20 team who, let's keep it 100. If COVID didn't happen, they were breaking 100 points. They were going to break 100 points that year. So
I just think that people need
this year, by the way?
Huh?
It's in December.
No, AFCON. I said AFCON in my video as well.
It's in December.
I thought I saw January 25.
No, December.
But it's not.
December next year.
Yeah, so
no Mo Salah going anywhere. Listen, man, I think people need
just
to...
don't let that second half of season...
No, but that's what cooked him, I feel like, man. Because I remember that year, he was on a similar Ballon d'Or stretch first half of the year when AFCON came out and it was rough. And I was like, hey, man.
Again.
Some mosquito might have got him out there.
I say it again. I just think with the jeopardy they've got of... Listen, if you're honest, look, you're just telling those 3 guys, listen, I don't know what you guys are going to do, but you have the opportunity to win the league. All I need you to do is lock in. Look in, give me everything. And if you want to leave at the end of it, be my guest. But just give me everything you have. Yeah. Virgil, let that knee stay intact and just give me everything till May. Then you can go off into the sunset.
Curtis Jones' improvement as well, I think.
Phenomenal.
You know, as I said, there's always winners. So not to say that Curtis Jones wasn't playing under Klopp or anything like that, but I think he looks like he's sniffed that there's an opportunity to go. And do you know why I rate it? The why I rate it as well. One, there was Szoboszlai came in, so he could be looking at it like, what's going on with me? I might be out of here. He stuck to it. And another reason I rate it is because in pre-season, he spoke about Slot, and he was the one that said what the difference is between Slot and Klopp. And some people were like, bro, are you dissing Klopp? Like, he was like, oh, we know what to do a little bit more on the pitch, and it's a little bit more tactical training. And some people were like, bro, how can you diss the Godfather Klopp like that? and he's gone on and performed. He's backing up what he's saying.
Do you know who's another one? Gakpo.
Yeah,
Gakpo's
Gakpo. I was
like
waiting to see Harvey Elliott, man. That's the one that's
I think he'll come back into the fold.
Got an injury, but yeah, man, you got to make people improve, and that's what he's done. So you have to give him his credit.
2 words: coaching and profiling. Curtis Jones is always this player that he can be used here, can be used here. Giving you a specific role. This is what he needs to do. Same thing with Gravenberch as well.
Specific role. Celebrate Christmas.
This is
that's what they're worried about.
This is what you need to do.
1 year, brother. just give us 1 year.
And again, I think that's where you have to give credit to. You're dumb. You're so dumb. You have to give credit to Slot. You have to give credit to FSG for bringing him in and trusting that process. And listen, let's see where they can go from here, man.
Yeah, last week, just to quickly adjust something. Last week I spoke about. I don't know. Obviously, listen, I'm not trying to make it a show about religion or anything like that, but somebody messaged me, and I always pay attention to the ones that make sense. So I said, people, if Salah played like how Palmer did, people will say stuff like Po Pala or something.
Yeah.
And if somebody messaged me saying that like he knows I didn't mean it or whatever, but apparently that could like offend Muslims if you play with the name Muhammad or something like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, there was no intent. Of course, so for the Muslim viewers,
I
appreciate that, brother.
I respect that, man. Any Champions League stuff you want to mention, or you're good with that? Dos Locos looking.
Yeah, Dos Locos tapping, man.
Looking.
We back, baby.
Champs and duds, man. Champs and duds. My champ has already been mentioned, but I think I have to do it justice. The man, the myth. Mamouche, 16 games, 13 goals, 10 assists.
Crazy, double-double.
He's going absolutely
He
crazy.
saw Salah get double-double.
He's scoring free kicks.
We're still waiting for yours, Mbappe. We're still waiting for your free kicks.
He played decent against Osasuna as well,
I'm just saying, man. Hey, yo, everyone likes that Bob Paisley thing now, yeah? Saying nothing, yeah? Let's run that. And remember to credit me, bro.
See, when I do it, I'm an old head. When Cam does it, knowledgeable. Say no more.
Let me read these super chats quickly, actually. So, Senya B says the Liverpool City game at Anfield will set the tone for the rest of the season, in my opinion. I agree. Andy says Salah outside the big pass sets him apart. Yep. AK says could Slot be the Bob Paisley? I'm noticing. Do you want to speak on that? Where that came from?
What?
The Bob Paisley thing. Do you want to?
Oh yeah. So basically, all I said is that. Do you know what? It's funny because it was me, you, and Liaz on the episode.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched it when we thought Alonso was going to be in charge, and I was basically like, I think Liverpool should go away from, people are saying that they need a larger than life kind of character because that's what Klopp was. And I'm like, listen, Klopp galvanized the city, similar to the way Bill Shankly did. Bill Shankly was doing talks in front of the whole of Liverpool, gassing up the crowd and gassing up the people. He won some trophies, but he was like the larger than life character, has all the quotes, They loved him. He's them on the pitch. But then Bob Paisley came in, and they call him the humble boss. He came in, completely different to Shankly. Didn't bother trying to be a Shankly and gas everyone up and stuff. He just got to work,
about his business.
Put things about his business, and trumped what's his name? Shankly in terms of winning trophies. Went on to be the most successful English manager, I believe. He's English, right? He's English. The most successful English manager of all time. So I'm like, listen, maybe there's some similarities there with Klopp and Slot. Klopp is there's the Shankly, and Slot is the Bob Paisley, but we have to see, do you know what I'm saying? But there's some similarities there. Maybe Liverpool are repeating their history.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Dominic also says Eric was right about errors coming to an end. Brother didn't realise he had to end his first. I think Rashi does well as a sub / 60-minute player. Love you, free. Big up Dominic, man.
Big up, man. That's cute, mate.
So, that's my champ of the week anyway, Mamouche. I just think that level of balling is ridiculous.
I think Ipswich coming to our ground, doing their thing, getting their first win. I think Kieran McKenna's always been unlucky in a lot of them games, but came in today, did his thing. Liam Delap, fair play, man.
God, Liam. My champ of the week, I'm going to give it to Ruud. You know what I mean? I got to give it to my guy. Got to give it to Van Nistelrooy, man. Unbeaten, did his job. Hopefully, he's got a meeting tomorrow with Amorim, apparently, so we'll see what comes of that. I'm not expecting him to stay, to be honest. I mean, Amorim's bringing 5 assistants, so listen, you're a legend in my eyes, and you've further established that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I got to give him my champ of the week.
I hear it. Any duds?
I think Spurs losing at home to a winless side. Have to be there.
True.
Yeah.
Sorry. After you rested your players midweek as well. Come on, man. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Have I got any others?
I don't want to put this a dud.
Militao though, man.
It's unfortunate.
I feel sorry for that
back-to-back
guy,
ACLs,
man.
different needs as well.
And this one apparently is like ripped the meniscus as
thing.
well.
The whole thing. MCL, ACL, TCL.
Yo, and you know what's so peak about stuff like that, bro? Like, come on, let's be realistic. Like, that's his Real Madrid. That's probably his career at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to sign another centre half,
still
man.
Still young, bro.
Yeah. It's a shame, bro. It's
a shame. I don't want to give it a dud, but the situation around Mbappe, the France call-up and stuff is very mad, to say the least.
Who?
Mbappe, French call-up, said, don't come.
Yeah, I don't know
That
what's
whole
going on.
situation is-
Mbappe's
I'm in
Mbappe's
the wilderness.
He's not gone to
He
the
has been
last
called up
two.
twice, yeah.
He has-
But
and
I
he's the
thought the
France
first one he was
captain.
saying, I'm settling here, only call me for the important games. And I'm
Deschamps said,
big man,
don't
what
come
you
for
just
this
made
one.
captain.
Yeah.
Deschamps.
And he's not going to apparently. And now, you know that Roman Molina guy that seems to only spread bad news?
Yeah.
He said that him and Deschamps are falling out and he doesn't
Bro,
want to make
I'm
so
still
eligible
waiting for some of his previous allegations
to come true. Yeah.
Allow
yeah.
it, bro.
But,
Rest, man.
I mean,
Save
even
it for
the
the
France
Twitter space.
captain, Mbappe, man, you can't cheat the game, man. You can't cheat the game. Messi, Ronaldo, all the greats, they were there, man. You can't cheat your way to greatness, bro. The football gods won't reward you, bro. That's why Vinny will keep dumping hat tricks, and you're just gonna be watching, bro. Keep eating off the scraps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, listen. He needs to get locked in.
That situation's a bit of a duddery for me. But yeah, that's the end of another show. We will be back soon. Make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
And listen.
What are you about to say?
When the haircuts.
Oh my god.
Hey, man.
Follow everyone's channels, man.
Yeah.
Follow everyone's channels.
To
All up
Ruud
on
as
the
well.
channels. Yeah. Wait.
Go see my match reaction as well for the Ipswich game if you want to go check that.
To Ruud.
To Ruud, man. To Ruud.
To me.
Who are you, bro?
Listen, we're out, man. Peace.